What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the 5230 Hoops YouTube channel, the man from Jersey again. And in today's episode, I kind of wanted to take a trip down memory lane, guys. This is a video topic that I did with Swag like a couple months back and whatnot. It's basically a redraft of the 2003 NBA draft, one of the greatest drafts in NBA history. People put it right up there with the 96 draft, with the 1984 draft, and with good reason, man. Like, this draft produced a lot of good talent. But yeah, man, that's basically what we're gonna do in today's episode. Just take a little trip down memory lane, and hopefully you guys agree. If you don't, man, sound off in the comments and let me know what you think. All right, now starting us off at number 1, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is the team who picked number 1 overall in 2003. To be honest with you, things are going to stay the same. I'm still picking LeBron James for Cleveland. Despite this draft having a lot of talent in it, I still think LeBron is the best player. We take a look at the 2003 Cleveland Cavaliers. This was a really bad team. Bad offensively, bad defensively. Finished the regular season with only 17 wins. They needed talent everywhere. I think their best player was like Ricky Davis or Carlos Boozer. Booz made a good career of himself or for himself, but you can't tell me you're going to win a championship with Carlos Boozer as your best player. Like, that's just not going to happen. So I think you definitely have to take LeBron, because he was a generational talent, man. And it's year 19 for him, and he's still getting it done. I know the Lakers didn't make the playoffs, but LeBron is still a great player even at like 37 years old. So for longevity and just career accolades, the championships, the finals MVPs, just everything LeBron has done, man, I think this is obviously the clear-cut pick for the Cleveland Cavaliers. At number 2, we have the Detroit Pistons on the clock. Obviously, in real life, they took Darko Milicic. Many believe that was probably one of the worst picks in NBA draft history, especially when you had Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh going after him. And, this was a Pistons team at the time, fresh off an Eastern Conference Finals appearance. Made the 2003 Eastern Conference Finals, got swept by the New Jersey Nets, but this was a 50-win team. Picking second in a loaded draft. This was a golden opportunity to build a dynasty in Detroit. Obviously, we know what the Pistons did. They took Darko Milicic. That didn't really work out. They still ended up getting Rasheed later on and winning one, ring in 2004. But still, man, like, you can't justify really like taking Darko over other talent. But in my redraft for the Detroit Pistons, I'm sure a lot of people would say Carmelo Anthony, but I'm not taking Carmelo Anthony. I'm taking Dwayne Wade out of Marquette. In my opinion, Dwayne Wade he fit the bill a little bit better for the Detroit Pistons, especially the team that they were in 2003, which was just a defensive oriented team. And with Dwayne Wade, you're getting a two-way player. Like, Dwayne Wade puts up buckets himself, so you're gonna get better on offense bringing in Dwayne Wade. And then the thing that really just sold me on this pick was what Dwayne Wade did on defense. Like, Dwayne Wade was one of the better perimeter guards back in our day. Like, this dude would get in there in the paint and block big men, get steals. He just got it done on the defensive end. And the proof's in the pudding, man. 3-time all defensive second team for Dwayne Wade. So I think you take him and then you plug him into the starting lineup. Obviously knowing what we know, I go small ball if I'm Detroit. I'm going Chauncey Billups, I'm going Dwayne Wade at the 2, Rip Hamilton at the 3. They still had Memento Core. You re-sign Memento Core. You play him at the 4, or you move Tayshaun to the 4, Ben Wallace at the 5. And in a perfect universe, you still get Rasheed Wallace. You could just plug in Rasheed at the 4. Now you have the 2 Wallaces. You have Rip at the 3, Dwayne Wade at the 2, Chauncey Billups at the 1. I think it's a no-brainer. Detroit Pistons, they lose nothing on defense. They only get better on offense. And I think they start a dynasty, bro. Like, Dwayne Wade was, we can't forget, right? I know he had Shaq. Dwayne Wade was the first dude from this draft to win a title. Unless maybe we're counting like some dude in the second round who went to like a title contender. But, from the top dudes of this draft, Dwayne Wade was the first one to get a title. So I know I'm beating a dead horse. I'm taking Dwayne Wade number 2 for the Detroit Pistons. Which brings us to number 3, Denver Nuggets on the clock. This is where things hold true to form for me. If I'm the Denver Nuggets, I'm taking Carmelo Anthony. I'm taking Carmelo over Chris Bosh. I know Chris Bosh had a great career in his own right. Went to Miami, won some titles. But I honestly just think Carmelo Anthony fits the bill a little better for the Denver Nuggets, especially if we take into consideration that during the 2003 season, the Nuggets averaged like 84 points a game, bro. They were the lowest scoring team of all 29 teams in 2003. So obviously, you take Carmelo Anthony, you're getting a guy who can, or has averaged high 20s, even 30 points a game on a season. So you take Carmelo Anthony, you instantly improve on offense. And, we kind of saw how things worked out in real life, man. The Nuggets really took Carmelo Anthony, and by year 2, I want to say, or it might have been his rookie year, made the playoffs. So it's not like Carmelo Anthony's time in Denver was a failure. You're also getting a guy who made 10 All-Star games in his career. So, the accolades for Carmelo, it's not like they're lacking. And I honestly think that this is a good pick, a great pick for the Denver Nuggets at 3. And things hold true to form on this one. Number 4, Toronto Raptors are up. In similar fashion, I've got the Raptors taking Chris Bosh. I've got them taking him at number 4. He's just, he was destined to be their guy. In my opinion, Chris Bosh is the 4th best player in this draft. After this, it really tails off. So if you're the Raptors, like you have to take Chris Bosh. Like, you're not going to take like Chris Kaman over him or Josh Howard or anything like that. You're taking Chris Bosh. You're taking a guy who put together a couple 2010 seasons for you. Obviously, later in his career, won some titles with Miami. So he could prove, or he has proven that he can, be a key player on a championship team. In a better world, you do a better job building around Chris Bosh. Maybe you don't trade Vince Carter because that gets lost in the sauce. Toronto Raptors had Vince Carter on the roster when they drafted Chris Bosh. Maybe in a different world, you don't trade Vince Carter. You keep him in Toronto with Chris Bosh. And you just try to make things work out, and you remain competitive in the East for years and years to come. And, career accolades for Chris Bosh, 2-time NBA champion, 11-time All-Star, which is crazy, bro. I didn't know Chris Bosh made 11 All-Star games. That's low-key crazy. But yeah, man, that's my pick for the Toronto Raptors at number 4. All right, man, moving into number 5. This is when things really start to get interesting because, the clear-cut dudes, the clear-cut top 4 dudes are now off the board. We have the Miami Heat at number 5. In real life, we know they took Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade's off the board, man. He went number 2 to Detroit, in my opinion. Miami Heat fans, you're in this universe, man, things are going to go a lot different for your franchise. Who knows if you ever even get one NBA championship. But needless to say, at number 5 for the Miami Heat, I have them picking David West out of Xavier, which, he's not Dwayne Wade, but, David West, he had a good career in his own right, man. In particular, from 06 to 2011, so like a 5-6 year stretch, he averaged 19 and 8. And he had a deadly mid-range jumper. I know some of that might have been spoon-fed from Chris Paul, but David West, his mid-range jumper was on automatic. 2-time All-Star in his own right. Yeah, he ring chased later on in his career, went to Golden State and whatnot, but let's not act like David West was some sort of scrub. He's the best player, in my opinion, still left on the board. If you're the Miami Heat, you take him, and you keep pushing forward, man. You try to improve on the season before. We also have to take into consideration that around this time, Alonzo Mourning, he had serious health issues, health concerns. So you bringing in David West, a big man, hopefully to fill in that role. I think it's just a no-brainer pick for the Miami Heat. And you're getting a great guy, man. He had like a, 14-year career or something like that. So you're getting longevity with David West. Hard-nosed dude, physical, mid-range jumper. I think it's a great pick. And at number 6, man, Los Angeles Clippers on the board. I've got them taking Kirk Hinrich, number 6 overall. Obviously, Kirk Hinrich, not the best player in the world, but I think people forget that Kirk Hinrich was a solid player, especially with the team that he really went to in real life, those baby Bulls. He's a solid player, much like all these teams. I know it sounds repetitive, but the 03 Clippers were pretty bad, man. They were actually pretty good on defense. Like, I think they were like 4th in defensive rating, but as far as scoring goes, they were 28th out of 29 teams. So the only team worse than them was the Denver Nuggets. I think with this pick, you bring in Kirk Hinrich, you bring in a floor general, set up teammates, make them better, could put the ball in the basket, could hit a 3-point shot. And, someone who was also a pretty good defender in his career. Like, Kirk Hinrich made all-defensive second team, I want to say, in 2007. He definitely made an all-defensive team. So you put that with the, relatively good defensive team that you had the year prior. And, I think the only thing that can happen there is you just get better on offense, especially if you take into consideration that heading into the 2003-2004 season, the point guard rotation for the Clippers was lacking, to say the least, man. It was Keon Dooling, Marco Jaric, Doug Overton. So you bring in Kirk Hinrich, you're definitely getting an upgrade at the point guard position, and I think it's a good pick for the Clippers at number 6. And yeah, all right, man, now we got the Chicago Bulls on the clock at number 7. In real life, they took Kirk Hinrich, but he just got taken by the Clippers. So Next man up, man, that I had is Josh Howard. Yes, Josh Howard. I think he went like 29th in real life. Crazy. Like, Josh Howard slipped in real life. He went to the Dallas Mavericks, but that's not the case here. He goes 7th overall to the Chicago Bulls, to the Baby Bulls. I think it's a good pick for them. You know, Josh Howard, he low-key had a shorter career than people would think, but he has the most interesting career of anyone in this draft, because by his third, fourth season, he was arguably the second or third option on competitive Mavericks teams. He was on that Mavericks team that won 67 games. Yes, they got upset by the Warriors, you know, the whole 1-8 thing, but Josh Howard was a really good player in his own right. 14 and 5 averages for his career. It doesn't look gaudy, but these averages, they get kind of, I guess, like compromised, man, because later on in people's careers, they decline, they get less minutes, play less games and whatnot. So you got a guy who one season averaged 20 playing 82, and then one season he averaged like 4 playing 82. You know, you add that up and divide it, then you got 12 points a game on average. But that's what I'm trying to say. Later on in his career, he kind of became a journeyman, went to Washington and whatnot. So that really affected his averages. But at one point, man, he was up there in the high teens as far as scoring goes. You know, if you look at the Chicago Bulls in 2003, they were just bad all around. Like, I know with the Clippers, I said they were bad offensively, but pretty good defensively. The Bulls were bad on both ends, man. 26th in offensive rating, 21st in defensive rating. They needed help anywhere they can get, and I think they definitely get that with Josh Howard at number 7. Hopefully in this universe, his career plays out a little bit differently, can stay healthy and whatnot. It's kind of like the biggest potential high reward pick in this draft. Number 7, Josh Howard to the Chicago Bulls. All right, and at number 8, guys, we got the Milwaukee Bucks picking. I forgot who they picked in real life. This is Milwaukee at number 8. Who the heck did they pick? Did they take Luke Ridnour? I'm not sure who they took number 8 in 2003, but in this redraft, I have them taking the boy Mo Williams. He is going 8 to Milwaukee. Look, guys, we've hit the point in this redraft where things are, they're getting a little shaky. Like, the superstar names are off the board already. We're kind of taking role players. But I think in this case, Milwaukee's getting a good one with Mo Williams. Heading into the 2003 season, the Bucks, they definitely needed an upgrade at the point guard position. They lost Gary Payton. He signed with the Lakers. Lost Sam Cassell. He went to Minnesota. So the point guard spot was kind of open for them. So you bring in Mo Williams, you plug him in. This is a dude who, he made one All-Star team in his career, that 09 season with the Cavaliers, playing alongside LeBron. Hey, it's something, man. It's something towards his case. And furthermore, if you look at the Milwaukee Bucks in 2003, they were 5th in points per game. So you're bringing in Mo Gotti, a guy, was a bucket getter, especially when he was with Cleveland. I think that only makes you better on offense. He's the best guy available for them. I think he's a perfect fit. You put him alongside Michael Redd. You got a little thing going on in the backcourt right there. And last but not least, getting a guy with longevity. Played 13 seasons in the league and, was on competitive teams, those Cavs teams, later on with the Clippers and whatnot. So I think it's a good pick. Mo Gotti going 8th to the Milwaukee Bucks. All right, man. Knicks fans, stand up. Number 9th pick, we got the New York Knicks on the board. Jeez, man, 2003, I remember, like, the Nets were good in 2003. The Knicks were bad. It was a great time to be alive for me because my bro was a Knicks fan. I was a Nets fan. Nets were kind of beating up on the Knicks. But anyways, man, Knicks, this is a chance right here to get better, to improve on your team, to hopefully take the next steps moving forward, to avoid this whatever drought you guys went on of just being horrible. 9th overall pick for the Knicks, I have them taking Boris Diaw. Yes, the Frenchman, Boris Diaw. He's going 9th to the New York Knicks. I think it's a great pick for them, man. Boris Diaw, he is one of the most versatile players in this draft class, especially when he went to Phoenix. Dude became a Swiss Army knife. Did a little bit of everything. Points, rebounds, assists. Kind of like a better version of Nick Batum, I guess you could say. Kept teams honest, could hit a 3-point shot. Played small ball 5 in some systems in Phoenix. So I really like this pick for the Knicks. Like, the Knicks, like all these teams, man, they need a talent everywhere. So you bring in Boris Diaw. You could play him at the 3. You could play him at the 4. You could play him at the 5. Facilitator, playmaker, or just, kind of playing off of other people. I think it is a super low-risk draft pick for the Knicks. Only potential high reward. Oh, I know I said the basically a better version of Nick Batum. I guess you could say he's also like a poor man's Draymond Green. if that makes sense. And longevity, man, played 10 plus seasons in the league. And, was just a winning player, man. Like everywhere he went, besides I think like that one Bobcats team in 2010, they became better, and he won, I think one, or he might have won. Yeah, I think he won one title with the Spurs in 2014. I honestly think it's just, like I said, man, low risk, high reward pick for the Knicks, especially you plug him in there in a high paced offense or fast paced offense. I think that's really where Boris Diaw thrives. So number 9, he's going to the New York Knicks, Boris Diaw. Moving on along with the 10th pick, we have the Washington Wizards. I think they took Jarvis Hayes in real life, if I'm not mistaken. Jarvis Hayes, yeah, he was okay, but I definitely have the Washington Wizards getting an upgrade with this one. At number 10, I have them taking the big man, Chris Kaman. I honestly think this is an incredible pick for the Washington Wizards because we have to remember, heading into the 2004 season, the Wizards, they had a backcourt of Gilbert Arenas, they had Larry Hughes, they had Jerry Stackhouse. They had kind of the perimeter play sewed up already. What they really needed was a little bit of help in the front court. They had Brendan Haywood, they had Eton Thomas, serviceable big men, but I honestly think that Chris Kaman is an upgrade from both of those players. In particular, we look at his 2008 season. My guy went for 15.7 points and 12.7 rebounds a game, averaging 2.8 blocks a game. Like, take those numbers into consideration. That's the potential Chris Kaman had. Even better was his 2010 season where he actually became an all-star. 18.5 points, 9.3 rebounds a game. Like, Chris Kaman, he's another interesting story because he was injury prone throughout his career. I honestly think he would have had a great NBA career if it wasn't cut short from injuries, because we look at one all-star game. He was on the Clippers when they made the 2006 playoffs. I honestly think Chris Kaman had a lot of untapped potential. It wasn't because of his motor or his drive or anything like that. It was honestly just the guy couldn't stay healthy. But, in a different universe, hopefully he stays healthy. Hopefully it's like a butterfly effect thing where him going to the Wizards instead of the Clippers just breeds some sort of, different karmic stuff in life. But I think you plug him alongside Jerry Stackhouse, alongside Larry Hughes, alongside Gilbert Arenas moving forward. I think this is a major upgrade for the Washington Wizards over, who they initially took, Jarvis Hayes. I don't think there's any negatives to it, man. We look at him, career averages 11.2 points per game, 7.6 rebounds, 1.3 blocks a game. Like I said, numbers are kind of compromised because later on in his career, journeyman, lesser minutes and whatnot. But at his best, Chris Kaman was a double-double dude who was a fringe all-star and even made one all-star team. So I love it at number 10 for the Washington Wizards. All right, man, moving on forward. 11th overall pick, we have the Golden State Warriors on the clock. This is 2003, man. This is way before the Golden State Warriors that we see now. Now the Warriors are winning titles and whatnot, being a destination where teams really want to go to, but that was not the case in 2003. Warriors were kind of doormats of the league, man. Like, nobody really wanted to go to Oakland. They were horribly ran, horribly managed, horrible trades, man. Dudes coming in and out, Chris Webbers of the world, squandering Run TMC and whatnot, trading Latrell Sprewell. The Warriors were just, they weren't well run, man. I was about to swear, but we'll keep it PG. They weren't well run. They weren't like the worst team in the league because they're picking 11th overall. So there was 10 teams worse than them. They were the 19th or 20th best team in the league. Regardless, man, with them looking at what's left on the board, I thought I had to make this pick. Number 11 for the Golden State Warriors, I have them taking Leandro Barbosa. Yes, the Brazilian blur, who actually, went on to play for the Warriors later on in his career, won a title with them in 2015 and whatnot. But I have them taking Leandro Barbosa. With Barbosa, we're talking just a pure bucket getter, man. Someone who could get a bucket, create his own bucket. 6th Man of the Year award winner. Was part of those run and gun Phoenix Suns teams and was averaging like 18 points a game or something like that one season off the bench for the Suns. You're just getting a bucket getter. And if you look at the Golden State Warriors during the 2003 season, they were second in points per game. 102.4 points a game. They were putrid on defense, man. 29th out of 29 teams. They were horrible on defense. But honestly, I don't see you getting an elite defender with the remaining players in this draft. So in my opinion, you just go with the offensive-minded guy. Just juggernaut, put him in there with your already potent offense and just try to run and gun people out of the gym, man. So with that said, I'm taking Leandro Barbosa. Number 11 to the Golden State Warriors. Moving on, man, number 12, and this pains me to say it, man, number 12, we have the Seattle Supersonics on the board, man. Yes, save our Sonics, man. Bring back professional sports to New Jersey and Seattle, man. We need it. But yeah, man, we have the Seattle Supersonics on the board, and man, you're getting a steal at number 12 if you are the Seattle Supersonics, because I have them taking Kyle Korver out of Creighton. I think that's how you say it. Kyle Korver, man, dude, I just have to like say this for a little bit, man. Kyle Korver, I think he went like 50 something in real life, got drafted by my New Jersey Nets and was traded for a copy machine. Like, what are the Nets doing, man? That's how the Nets squandered their prime championship window in the early 2000s, making boneheaded decisions like that, trading one of the best three-point shooters in NBA history for a copy machine when you got him as a steal at 50 whatever. All right, man, I digress. Kyle Korver going 12th overall to the Seattle Supersonics. I think it's a great pick for them. If you look at the Sonics in 2003, they had Ray Allen, they had Rashard Lewis, Vladimir Radmanovic. They had a plethora of three-point shooters. I think you bring in Kyle Korver into the mix, and man, you could really have kind of like a poor man's Splash Bros thing going on in 2004, in 2003, when, you know, the league wasn't accustomed to that yet. So I honestly think it's a great pick for the Seattle Supersonics. Kyle Korver, you know, he made one All-Star team in his NBA career, and yeah, it was kind of suspect. You know, it was part of that 60-win Atlanta Hawks team. But nevertheless, you're getting a guy who could shoot the lights out of the ball, man. Averaged 10 plus points 8 times in his career, 43% career shooter from the three-point line. I just think, man, I think it's a match made in heaven, bro. You put him alongside Ray Allen, Rashard Lewis, Vladimir Radmanovic, and hopefully it was Antonio Daniels, man. If he was there, that'd be good because he was a serviceable point guard. I think, you know, the defense is going to be putrid, man. But much like the Golden State Warriors, I'm banking on you just outgunning people, man. Just go out there, let it fly from 3, and just try to shoot people out of the gym, man. So I love this pick for the Seattle Supersonics. Sonics fans, save our Sonics, man. If you're watching this, let me know what you think, man. Do you like Kyle Korver going 12 to the Seattle Supersonics? Let me know. All right, guys, getting down to the last 2 picks in the draft. Number 13, we have the Memphis Grizzlies picking, but it conveyed over and went to the Boston Celtics. I don't know who got taken here in real life. Was it Marcus Banks? I don't know. It wasn't Kendrick Perkins. I think he was like 29th or something like that. But hey, man, it's slim pickings at this point. We're up to 13. But even with that, I still think this is a solid pick for the Boston Celtics. At 13, I have them taking Jose Calderon, the Spaniard. He's going to Boston. He's no longer playing for the Toronto Raptors. Simple and plain, man. I honestly think the Boston Celtics in 2003, they needed an upgrade at the point guard position. They had Tony Delk running the point during the 2003 playoffs. That's not going to get it done. I know Twan was running playmaking duties sometimes, but you bring in a guy like Jose Calderon, a guy who averaged close to 10 assists a game a few times in his career. Low turnovers, just, you know, solid, efficient guy when he shot the ball. And this gets lost in the sauce. I know a lot of times people talk about Steve Nash, how he was so efficient when he did shoot the ball, but he didn't shoot it enough. Jose Calderon, low-key, if you go look up his stats, man, when he did shoot the ball, he was efficient. From the field, from 3, from free throw. But he was just more of a playmaker kind of guy trying to set people up. You put him alongside Paul Pierce and Antoine Walker, just making those guys' lives a little bit easier, setting them up and whatnot. I think it's a great pick for the Boston Celtics. No more Tony Delk, no more J.R. Bremer running primary point guard duties. So I think it's great for the Boston Celtics at 13. You can't do any better than this if you're the Celtics. All right, guys, we've made it, man. The last pick in the draft lottery for 2003. We have the Seattle Supersonics again. So the Sonics, man, they could low-key make a jump here, man, with these 2 picks in the 2003 draft. Looking at the Sonics, I know I took Kyle Korver 12th overall for them. And I said, you know, the whole thing about them running and gunning teams out of the gym and whatnot. But looking at what's left on the board, man, I honestly think the Sonics could also get better defensively in this draft, because I have them taking Kendrick Perkins 14th overall. I know nowadays Perk is kind of a meme, you know, he's on ESPN and whatnot saying all kind of funny stuff, and him and Richard Jefferson got like a bromance or whatnot. But I got them taking Big Perk. I do think Big Perk is a little overrated. You know, he won a championship with the Celtics in 2008. That was really Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen and Rajon Rondo. But hey, nevertheless, he was there. He gets praised for that and whatnot. And people swear left and right that the Celtics lost in 2010 because they didn't have Big Perk. I don't buy it, bro. But I mean, hey, you know, you are getting a big body. You know, you're getting someone that you could throw in the paint. I think he's the best available big in this draft. So if you're the Sonics, you take Big Perk. Maybe you make him your starting center. Maybe your starting lineup is Korver, Ray Allen, Rashard Lewis, Vlad at the center if you're trying to just play small ball. Big Perk at the center if you're trying to go big, and then maybe Antonio Daniels or whatnot at your point guard position. Gives a little bit of versatility to your roster and the things that you can do. And you know, just looking at Big Perk, career averages of 5.4 points, 5.8 rebounds. Big Perk was never really a scorer like that. He was just meant to, you know, be an enforcer or something like that. Honestly, man, I just think it was the best available guy, best available center. I think it fits the Seattle Supersonics a little better than anyone else that was available. So Big Perk, you go 14th to the Seattle Supersonics. And that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. This is my redraft of the 2003 NBA draft. Hope you guys like the picks, man. A lot of the times it wasn't so much about talent. It was more so what the team needed, man. You know, it's easy to get lost in that in 2022, but you go back to 2003, you look up defensive ratings, offensive ratings, the players that these teams had and what they really needed. That's kind of what I took into consideration with some of these picks. With some, it really was just about the talent. But, you know, in the case like Dwayne Wade or whatnot, I'm more so looking at what the Pistons really needed in 2003. But anyways, man, I don't want to ramble at the end, guys. That's my redraft. Get in the comments down below, man. Let me know if you agreed or disagreed with any of my selections. You know, just keep it respectful, bro. There's no need for people to get in the comments and throw F-bombs and all that stuff. If you disagree politely, bro. But please, man, like, comment, subscribe, man. Thank you for watching and taking time out of your day. I am the man from Jersey, 5230 Hoops. See you guys on the next one. Peace.